You know how runners talk about how they just need to get those miles? Ever since I started flying every day, that's the closest thing I can compare this feeling to. Bunch of other obligations today, but I snuck away really early just to get a flight in before I gotta go. And it's supposed to rain.
So I reached out to see what questions people might have just because I don't know what to talk about. Someone reached out and said, "You guys have quite the fleet. What do you and your dad do for a living to fund such an impressive hangar of fun?" So there's this preconceived notion that you have to be wealthy to afford airplanes or to fly in general. And that's just not the case. All right, let's see what we got here. A little fast. It's so nice because it's cold outside. It's just so smooth. So, addressing the first part of that question, currently I fly a Learjet for one family out here in Southern California. My dad was a project manager for a construction company up until a few months ago when he branched out on his own, and now he's doing the same thing just on his own. Airplanes have kind of been in our family throughout my entire life. My grandfather, who was just a private pilot, he had a Cessna 172. The Cessna sat in a hangar for years back in Illinois until I decided that I wanted to pursue a career in aviation, and we started thinking about how to get it back here. I proceeded to fly that Cessna until I had my CFI. I was extremely lucky to have an opportunity like that. After I got my private and I was building hours, I was bartending in wine country. All right, here we go. A little fast again. Last one was bumpy. Hit that forward slip. Okay, still a little fast. I'm too fast. I'm gonna float this thing. Yeah, you're floating it, rookie. Rookie. So after I got my private and I was building hours, my dad told me he wanted to buy an aerobatic plane. So my dad's favorite airplane of all time was the Kristen Eagle, but it was a little out of our budget. So we were looking at Steen Skybolts and mini planes and just looking at any biplane that was kind of close. And so we were shopping around for a while, and then the Kristen Eagle that we now had popped up on Facebook. At the time, I was bartending, I was making good money. We decided to go in halves on the airplane, and my dad fronted the down payment, and then him and I went partners on it. And, you know, we split the airplane, the hangar, the insurance, and as I was building hours towards my commercial, I flew the Kristen Eagle. Okay, here we go. We're gonna slip a little bit different. We're gonna go with a little right slip here. Okay, there we go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. No fancy stuff today. You can do it smoother than that. Staying in ground effect. And rough. So for the Kristen Eagle, the hangar, and the insurance, altogether it was $450 a month. I would not have been able to afford it on my own. $900 a month would have been out of my budget, but between the two of us, we were able to do it. So as I became a CFI, money got a little bit tighter. I made significantly more money while I was bartending. When I was a CFI, I was making like nothing, so I wasn't flying the Kristen Eagle much at all. During those days, my dad would be nice, and he would leave some fuel in the tank for me, and I'd sneak out when I could, and I'd be lucky to fly it once a week. Then I went to the regional airlines, where it was even worse, and during that time, it got really bad. It was tough to afford just the Kristen Eagle. So then fast forward to now, got 3375, base to final, got a runway 22. When I moved back, my dad and I started competing in the Kristen Eagle together, and we loved it, and we had a lot of fun. And as we moved up in category, we realized that we wanted to get another airplane, something that was more capable. The 6-cylinder monoplanes are unbelievably expensive, so we knew we had to shop around. We heard from a friend. Oh, nice. Oh yeah. Woo. Cold this morning. So we heard from a friend that there was an Edge 540 for sale pretty close to us, but it wasn't on the market yet. The former pilot, Christian Bolton, was thinking about selling it. It was fully set up in race configuration, and it needed some work to get it back to competition aerobatic shape, but it was half the price of any monoplane in its category. When we decided to get that, I stopped flying competitions. Every time you go fly a competition, it's $1,500, and I saved for about a year and a half. After a ton of help from a ton of people, we were able to convince a bank to give us a loan, and with all the money that we had saved for the down payment, we went in halves. Oh, it's just so smooth. Get out of the way, birds. When we finally convinced the bank to give us a loan, we had to have a pretty big conversation. So I had the conversation with my girlfriend. Hey, I'm about to spend a lot of money on an airplane for a hobby. And she was totally fine with it. The thing about my dad is, my dad motivates me so much. He's the hardest working person that I've ever met. And he finds a way to get the things that he wants done. We could have waited, you know, it probably wasn't the most financially responsible move to buy the airplane and just to compete in and ultimately have fun, but we decided to kind of push forward and buy the Edge and kind of maximize every day that we have. So we're extremely fortunate. Every day I wake up, I get to come out to the airport and fly some amazing airplanes, and I'm unbelievably lucky. Just butter. Just smooth. All my friends out at the airport here in Hemet, none of them are millionaires. None of them make exuberant amounts of money. All of them just have a passion for flying. And with that passion, you can find a way to afford it. So whether it's an ultralight or an extra 330 SC, everybody out here just loves to fly, and they find a way to get into something. Hemet traffic. Go 3375, base mile 23, Hemet. So I think the biggest fallacy is that aviation's expensive. Aviation is as expensive as you want to make it. You can keep it super cheap, or you can blow all your money on an Edge 540.